Hey, how's it going? I'm Josh.
And I'm Jon.
And welcome to Fin Spex.
Fin Spex.
All right, today I rode the Pyzel and the Merrick larges from FCS. And this is the first one we've done with FCS. We've done all the futures fins, and now it's time to start testing.
Wait, so you're telling me this is a show that UsedSurf puts on where we sit down and we talk about the fins that you rode in your board at a session that happened literally this morning?
This morning, yeah.
Dude, I'm excited. I'm going to be totally honest with you, though. And I hope a lot of the viewers out there maybe feel the same way. I do not surf anywhere near the ability that you do, so I have a ton of questions.
Okay.
About no, don't get a big head. I'm not saying you're like pro.
No.
But you're above average.
Thank you.
You're a B plus.
I'll take it.
Above average.
That's better than I did in high school. So the Pyzel fin is kind of a neutral template. It's not too swept back. It's not too upright. It's kind of right in between. And so it was interesting to feel the difference between that set of fins and then the Merrick larges, which the Merricks are very swept back, very raked.
And these are all being run as a thruster setup in a proper thruster, or is this more of a hybrid?
This one's kind of a hybrid. It's actually shaped by Maurice, the owner of the shop. It's called the Glock. It's a 5/8, 19 3/8, and 2 3/8. Or it might be, I think it's 2 5/16 actually. It's a little thinner. Yeah, kind of like a small wave thruster shortboard.
Got you. So when it comes to like the average surfer, I've heard people say that fins, you can think of them like they're tires on a car, make huge difference. Do you agree with that statement? Or would you say they're even more important than tires?
Once you get to a certain level, for sure.
For me, it's like, if it's a quad set, obviously it feels different. If it's a twin and a trailer, it feels different. Straight twin, thruster, single fin, feel those differences. But when it comes to those little subtle things, you are telling me you can feel how it holds in a turn, it feels snappier.
Absolutely. Maurice made this board just for this with FCS. All my boards for the last 5, 6, 7 years have all been futures. So it was interesting to kind of jump back into the FCS thing after being not involved in it for so long. And then I am 5'10". I'm 175 pounds. And this board, I think, falls right about 28 and a half liters right in there.
Good for you. Hey, you don't have to rub it in. Just a young man. All right. That's great. My knees don't work anymore and my back hurts right now. I'm dying. Okay, let's see what's going on here. What's the first set of fins that we're going to see?
We're going to see the Pyzels first.
Okay, the Pyzels. If you know Pyzel, has the man, the Wonder Boy, who's now the Wonder Man, Jon Florence. And I can't even imagine being with a shaper for that long, with a surfer at that level and ability. I mean, they're taking some time and some thought to put into these fins, and they must be tested in some of the craziest conditions in the world, but obviously also under a guy that really pushes equipment.
Definitely.
And I see a lot of similarities. You're sort of a goofy-footed Jon Florence. And if you hadn't zigged when you should have zagged, who knows? You could have been on tour and had a catamaran yacht that you sailed around.
Yeah, dang.
We all make choices.
We do. All right, we're going to kick it off with the Pyzel.
So excited. You got to surf this morning. Let's do it.
3, 2, 1. So there they are. Kind of more upright. You can see how straight up and up and down.
Dude, they are super straight up. So this is your first wave. You got a left. Nice little swell, kind of dying down. Beautiful snap, top to bottom. How did that first one feel?
Felt good. I could feel how upright they were and how quick they wanted to jam straight up into the lip.
Why didn't you make that tube? I thought the fins would help you get out of that.
Too deep.
All right,
tried my best.
Do better next time.
I will.
All right, another little snap there. So this was feeling pretty loose. These are the Pyzels.
Definitely, yeah. Lots of drive, lots of speed. Was trying to blow the fins out and, get pretty tech with it.
All right, talk to me about like when you're thinking about the fins. You're out there filming for this. What are you looking for? What things do you like in a fin?
I like A couple things. Lots of drive is number one. Like you can see, like going down the line with this one, it's easy speed. And then
that was a really beautiful turn. I mean,
thanks.
The way those fins held, and salute to you, sir. That was a proper hack.
Thanks. Yeah, it's a combination of speed, and then also on that layback they slid a little bit, but then they held back in, which was nice.
And I don't like that dismount you just had. I think it's dangerous. I'd like to see you put your hands in front of your head next time. Protect your neck, kids. Protect your neck.
Sound like my dad. But yeah, these fins gave me a lot of speed down the line, and it was kind of harder blowing them out and getting them to release. They did really want to hold in for the most part.
Okay, so when you're saying drive, it's how it feels going down the line, the kind of speed you're getting as you're pumping.
Yeah.
And then when it comes to doing snaps, what are you looking for, like the release? How does the shape of the fin affect the way it's going to release?
A fin that isn't as swept back isn't going to release as well, just because there's more fin towards the tail of your board that's going to be coming out the back.
That actually makes sense to me, which I'm amazed that it does. So the Pyzels, do you kind of have an idea though how the Pyzels would have felt backside? And it doesn't make a big difference for you, front side, backside?
It actually super does. I find that fins that are more upright, kind of like the Pyzels, work better for me backside than a more raked out template. Backside, I'm trying to go for more of like kind of deep bottom turns and then going straight up and getting like a good backhand snap. Versus front side, I'm usually trying to do like a big drawn out cutback.
Got you.
So that's kind of the differences in my style there. And normally my futures fin, number one is the Merrick, always. That's like the first fin I put in a board because I'm usually going left. So that's kind of complements like doing big round cutbacks. And then if I'm surfing a place like, you know, a right hand point, you know, I'll put in like the futures Pyzel or, you know, a fin like that to kind of give me that tighter turn backside.
So you're 100% like, if you're going on a trip and you know there's going to be some different types of waves, you're packing a bunch of different types of fins, and then knowing the spot you're going to that day, you're going to possibly change out fins. Do you ever change out fins mid-session?
Not usually. I'll usually commit for a session, like especially like down on the beach. You know, I'll put the fins on my board and those are my fins for that session. There's definitely been times where I had fins in that I was trying to figure out and they weren't the right fins, and the whole session goes awry, but you know, that's part of the game. So
correct me if I'm wrong, but just for the average surfer, kind of a way we can think about it is you have your all-around fins that are more neutral, that are kind of a mix of upright and swept back, sort of in between those two, kind of a general all-around fin. Then the more straight up they are, the more drivey they're going to be, but they're not going to have as much release. Then the more swept back they are, they're going to have more release, more pivoty. Is that correct?
It's the more swept back they are, the more hold they're going to have. So they're going to hold through turns. Then the more straight up and down they are, the more they're going to be looser in release.
Got you.
Yeah.
Got you. So what do you think with these Pyzels, what do you think the goal was for these? Who do you think they're for? Like, who would you recommend them to?
I'd recommend them to that fin, almost anybody. It's a very user-friendly fin. It's good front side. It's good backside. It's not too much in either direction that it'll, you know, be too much for even like your average surfer. It's a great fin. It's not too far in either category. It's kind of right down the middle. And it's got tons of drive and speed, which is number one for, I'd assume number one for everybody. Sure. It's number one for me for sure.
And what everybody wants to know, what the people want to know, how did that turn feel?
The layback?
Yeah.
That felt really good.
Has it been a while since you had one of those bad boys?
I haven't had a layback that good, maybe ever. That was a pretty good one.
Shaka laka laka laka, and you get to witness it. I mean, you did it with the Pyzel fins in, okay?
Yeah.
But we had another set of fins that you tried, right?
Yeah. So next we threw in the Merricks, the larges, which is the FCS counterpart to the fin I normally ride on a daily basis.
So when you say it's a counterpart, what's the difference between these AMs and the ones you use all the time?
Well, it's got the different base. It's got the FCS base, the FCS II click-ins, just a keyless system, whereas futures, you got the one screw in the front.
Right.
And then FCS, just straight away, you just push in the front, pop in the back, and you're in there.
Okay, but are these the exact same fins that you normally use, or
The template,
The
the
template's
template's the same. Yeah.
okay? And please explain template. What do you mean?
So the template is the outline of the fin.
Got it.
It's, if you were to set the fin on a piece of paper and draw a trace around it, that's what the template is.
And then there's single foiled, double foiled. That has to do with the outside of the fin and the inside of the fin.
Yeah.
When it comes to these ones, what are they? Are they single foiled or double foiled?
So the center fin is double foiled. It's 50-50.
Gotcha.
And then on the side fins, it's single foiled. So the outside of the fin is foiled and the inside is flat on both the side fins.
Got it. And do you normally run a twin with a trailer? Is this considered a twin and a trailer set?
It's actually, the center fin is smaller than the two side fins, but it's still considered a thruster set.
Still considered a thruster.
Yeah. So it's the center fin just to keep the tail a little bit looser. They have the trailer is a little bit smaller than those two side fins.
So you're coming off the Pyzels, you're feeling it. You're having a morning. I mean, we could see with your body language. You stood up, shoulders back, and you said, "You want some more?" You looked at the cameraman. You said, "I'm going to bring it. Give me those Channel Islands, Al Merrick's, and I'm going to continue to perform out here at Salt Creek this morning and bring the heat and the thunder to the morning crowd." You're basically South Orange County royalty. Let's see what he did on the AMs.
Sweet. 3, 2. So there they are. Dropping the Pyzels out.
Cool.
And putting the Merricks in. This shows how easy they are to take in and out. It's actually super nice.
I'm guessing you were already going, okay, this is a fin I know really well, and you have a sense of what it's going to feel like.
Definitely. Yeah, this was the first wave on him. Just kind of getting a feel.
Oh, nice little roundhouse cutty. Good rebound. He comes in. He's going to go ahead and pull in. And a little disappointed on that.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that later. Oh, we got it right. Yes.
Found it right. Tried
Very
to get
cool.
barreled.
No, that was good.
Yeah, I really wanted to get a backhand snap, but I just didn't make it happen today.
So is there any, to me, already just looking, these almost seem less drivey. Am I wrong? Or
they definitely felt that way. Yeah, it's...
Why do you think that is?
I think it's got to do with the base. I'd have to look at the fin specifications, the fin specs, if you will, to see if there's more base and more area on
when
the
you're
Pyzels.
talking about base, you're talking about from the back of the fin to the front of the fin, how
on the
many
bottom.
inches that is. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, and the Merricks definitely had moments, but for today, I think the Pyzels were the right call.
Yeah, and it looks like it's getting a little windier there. That was a nice snap. Very cool.
Yeah, the wind came up and kind of shut it down. We would have gotten more time on the Merricks, but it just kind of shut down. But yeah, they definitely didn't feel as drivey as the Pyzels did, and I think that has to do with a couple things. The base, I don't think is as long, and then that smaller trailer is, because when you're getting drive out of a fin, you're pushing off those fins and then they're bending back and giving you speed. So when the fins are smaller, it's not as much area for you to push on and kind of get going down the line. So I think the Pyzels having the full size third fin and then being I think it's a bigger fin overall. And I think just having more fin to push off of gave me more speed.
Dude, that's epic. I mean, I'm learning a lot right now. The one thing I want to communicate to everybody out there is if you come into UsedSurf, one of the coolest things that they offer here at the shop is for $5, you can rent a new set of fins every week for 5 weeks. So you can try FCS2s or futures. We have so many different fins, all the different templates. Take them for a week, take them for 7 days, try them out, bring them back. If you like them, awesome. We can take that $5 and put it towards a purchase of them. Or if you don't like them, try another set of fins. For 5 weeks, try 5 different set of fins. That's really, to me, that's one of the best things that you can do when it comes to fins, because for most of us, your average surfer, if we're having a good session, we're just stoked. You know what I mean? And I do think about my fins and how much, I enjoy surfing and what differences they make, but I really don't have enough knowledge. So I think getting a chance to do something like $5 to rent 5 set of fins that's a good opportunity to play around and learn about it that we offer here. Just something so you guys know.
Definitely. And if you don't live around here and you want to try a set of fins, you can do the 30-day buy, try, and decide program on our website. And that's great because you can buy a set of fins, you can try them for 30 days. If you don't like them, you can send them back as long as they're not totally destroyed for a full refund. And, hopefully you find a set of fins you love that way if you don't live nearby.
I'm a believer that a guy like me, if I learn a little bit more from somebody like you, that I will probably have a much more fun journey in surfing.
And yeah, wrapping up the Pyzels, I would say it's a great fin for pretty much any level surfer and kind of wherever you'd want to surf. It's not necessarily a fin just for the point breaks or just for the beach breaks. It's a good starting point for anybody. I think it's a great fin. And then for the Merricks, I would say it's a little bit narrower. I would say it's a good fin for someone who pushes hard, likes to, stand on their back foot and push hard through a turn. The good waves that I had on the Merricks were all like, kind of pushing hard on my back foot cutbacks.
Dude, motions of rippage come from the back foot. Mm-hmm. Cannot emphasize this enough.
And yeah, I would say it's definitely a good fin for kind of open face waves, like drawn out cutbacks. Maybe not so much like, kind of a punchy beach break where you're coming straight up in the pocket. It's a little bit better for those open face, kind of more perfect style waves. All right. Thank you so much, Jon, for being here and doing this with us. Come into the shop, say hi to Jon, say hi to all the other cool people that work here, do the $5 fin demo program. We got everything you need, leashes, traction pads, wax, all that good stuff. So
come on into UsedSurf. I say this with no hyperbole, seriously. Best surf shop, best people. Everybody here is ready and waiting to answer all of your questions. And there's no silly question. We just love surfing and we want people to love it as much as we do. And we want to work with you on your journey as you get better at surfing or get worse, in my case.
I couldn't have put it better myself. Thank you so much, Jon.
All right. Take care, guys.
We'll see you next time.
Thanks for watching.
The tides are running, it's time to go.